All right, we'll let everyone kind of trickle in here, I know, but since we only have 30 minutes, I want to make sure that we do our best to get everything covered today because there's a lot to fit in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Key to Success, Increasing Attendee Engagement During Virtual Meetings. I want to thank all of you who are attending live, and a big thanks to those who will also be watching this recording later. Thanks for making time over your lunch break today to join us. And a special thanks to our sponsor, GLI, Ground Logistics International. I can personally attest to the quality of their services, their drivers, their vehicles, and I'm personally looking forward to working with them again as soon as we can get back to traveling for meetings. So for those who may not know me, I am Caytie Pohlen-LaClare. I founded LaClare Group back in 1997. And over the years, we've partnered with some wonderful clients. Many of you are here today. And for many years, it was strictly in-person meetings of various sizes, all over North America, the Caribbean, and Europe. But now we've expanded our knowledge and skills to include virtual, or online is another word for it, and hybrid meetings and events of all types. Making your event a success is our greatest satisfaction. So we are 1 year, a little over 1 year into the pandemic, and it's clear online events are here to stay. Even when pandemic ends and we go back to doing in-person meetings, what a lot of us have learned and found is that the attendance is so much greater and you can reach more people doing online meetings. So I really don't think that they are going anywhere. We've all experienced the virtual meeting evolution. We started learning with just the basics of hosting online meetings, way back this time last year. And we've all evolved. We now need to find ways to be creative, entertaining, and keep our audience's attention. As attendees, I think we all want that, right? And as event hosts, we want to be sure that our meetings are going up to the next level. Interesting fact, when your audience is fully engaged, they report higher satisfaction. So our goal today is to give you some valuable bits of information that will help you confidently move forward with creating engaging and interactive content for your next online conference, event, or trade show. So just a quick run over today's agenda. We are going to cover why attendee engagement is so important, how to increase engagement based on the type of event, and then we're going to bring Margaret Skoglund in. She's one of the co-founders of Virtual Broadway, and she is going to give us lots of great information about the amazing productions that they've been doing over this last year with their clients. And then at the end, we'll end with some Q&A. You can either use the chat to put your questions in or unmute yourself to ask questions. And, as we go through this and questions pop into your mind, please feel comfortable to just drop things into the chat as well, because we'll go back and look at those and make sure that we're getting everything answered. So, jumping ahead. So it's been said that virtual meetings are really live, interactive, internet-based shows. Think about that for a second. Doesn't that concept or that idea change your mindset and to thinking about producing a show instead of just doing an online meeting? So here's interesting facts. Audiences on average watch about 37 minutes of a 60-minute session. And if that's the case, don't you want to be spending your time and your resources on producing a great show? So why it's important. B2B event marketers are saying the biggest virtual event challenges are, number one, audience engagement, and number two, the interaction piece. Also, higher engagement means greater satisfaction now, and people are more likely to return for future events that you might be hosting. So with that, let's jump into the how-to. We could spend hours and hours going about this. I'm going to try to cover just the high points for you. I will say that at the end of this, we are going to not only send you this recording, but there'll be a PDF attachment with a lot of tips and tricks listed out there as well for you, for your convenience. So first off, how to increase the engagement. So first of all, you got to think about your meeting. What type of a meeting are you doing? Is it educational? Is it celebratory, an awards dinner? Maybe it's a retreat. We did that for a client recently. So what kind of an event it is going to help you decide on the mood, the overall tone, if you want it upbeat, if you want it more calm and soothing. So that's one thing to think about. The next one is know your audience and focus on them. People want to see interaction. They want to look at, see you or me looking at you in the camera, not looking away, because that helps us feel more engaged. It helps us feel more drawn in. Then you want to be, like I said, clear about the type of meeting you're hosting. And then we jump into things like content and the quality of your speakers. And then along with that, never underestimate the importance of light, of sound, and camera angles. So you'll notice, like, for example, today I have the camera here. I'm making sure that it's at or just slightly above my eyes. Then leaning in a little bit and allowing people to see your hand gestures. And then audio. So I have a wired microphone. That helps. It gives people a little bit clearer sound than just relying on your laptop or computer sound. And then the next thing you'll want to be doing is building bite-sized content. So keeping things interesting, changing things every 15 to 20 minutes. So people's brains are constantly, people's brains are constantly seeking new information. One of our guests here today is a neuroscientist, Dr. Terry Wu, and I know he knows all about that, your brain and how it interacts with things. And then the next thing is user experience. You want to, say for example, this is a conference. You want your audience to be able to be selecting the sessions that they're taking, to possibly interact, if it's an exhibit, things like that. Creating a welcoming environment, using stimulating visuals. You noticed at the beginning, before we got started, we had some music playing that lets people know that their sound is working, but also it kind of helps, again, like I said at the beginning, set the tone a little bit. More for audience and user experience, things like using live Q&A, chats, polling, and then keep in mind the length of time. As I showed on one of those previous slides, if people's time attention span is about 37 minutes in a 60-minute presentation, then you want to make sure that you're allowing for that. And of course, if it's something like a day-long conference, you want to build in breaks. People need to be able to get up, stretch their legs, grab something to eat, comfort breaks, whatever. Okay, so some of the things that we've done are pictured here. For example, cooking. And again, of course, some of these ideas and suggestions are going to depend on the type of event that you're hosting. But cooking, live interaction, get everybody to get their food in advance and have a chef walk people through how to prepare something. We have had groups do yoga or other types of meditation during a retreat. Believe it or not, even though it was online and not in person, our attendees really got into it. They were able to relax. They were able to go with the whole thing, even though they were sitting in their own homes and not in a room together. Mixology is another fun one. I think we've got a little yoga there. And then just, being able to interact with other people, seeing other people on the screen. So that's why today, one of the things we did is a little different than normal. We've got the ability for everyone to see each other, to see who's participating. If you've got your camera on, it helps to know that you're not the only one there. All right. So I've covered a lot really fast, but I wanted to make sure that I allowed enough time for Margaret today. So a quick introduction. Margaret Skoglund is one of the co-founders of Virtual Broadway. She is a Broadway manager with credits such as Rock of Ages, Mamma Mia, Once on This Island, and the first national tours of Disney's The Lion King and Newsies. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Margaret in to give us some more great information here.
Hello, Margaret Skoglund here. And I always like to say, step one, can everyone hear me? Yes? Fantastic. So I am the founder of Virtual Broadway. So Caytie, thank you so much. And I'm just going to chat with you a little bit about what my company has done since launching in the pandemic. Like Caytie mentioned, my background is actually managing shows. And managing Broadway shows, you sort of accidentally become an engagement expert. So when COVID shut us down, every single Broadway actor was out of work, every single designer, every single director. So I had an idea to bring Broadway to business with an engagement hook. So what we're doing is a lot of learning and development. Maybe a Hamilton actor teaches you how to present, whether you're a lawyer or a salesperson. A lot of wellness activities. Maybe a Broadway dancer is stretching your conference attendees to relieve Zoom fatigue. And then finally, entertainment, right? How in the world do we entertain, customize that entertainment, make a recognition event, sing, literally for us, we literally make it sing, typically with custom songs. And it's been so wonderful hearing about Caytie's work and LaClare's work because we sort of get to come in under a LaClare or come in and work hand in hand with that company to develop an incredibly customized experience. And Caytie, feel free to cut me off at any point here. The three things that we've really found to hook that engagement, and thank goodness my background is all Broadway, where staring at audience members for 8 nights or 8 times a week to see when are they snoozing and when are they on the edge of their seat. So we found 3 things. I'm going to share the 3 secrets. Customization. You gotta customize. So for example, I'm about to show you a video that we did for a big nonprofit in Delaware. We wrote them an original song with their mission statement incorporated and threw in their logo to look and feel like an Oscar opening number. And I'm actually going to show this to you. This will be about an 80-second clip, and just feel free to type in the chat if you have any issue seeing it. All right, here we go.
Thank you all for coming. We're so glad to have you here.
We could use a bit of respite, 'cause it sure has been a year.
So turn your volume up.
We're about to have a ball.
As JFS has mentioned, music heals us one and all.
My name is Kelly Barrett. I was Wicked's Nessa Rose.
And I am Jared Spector of Jersey Boys and the Share Show.
Our program is superb. Just you wait for what's in store.
We brought our friends from Broadway to sing for you and more. We take care of one another at JFS, your family.
For 120 years, we ensure adaptability.
Our dedicated staff provide their services for all. Protect, support, and guide you, help you thrive and small.
All right, so I will not make you watch that whole entire song, but the point is, we asked about their mission, we asked about their impact. We made sure that the actors we selected were brand aligned. And so the customization has been a huge, huge linchpin for us. And Caytie, I have a couple other tips, but I'll stop right there in case how's my timing?
You're good on time.
Wonderful. And then the other thing that we learned a lot, because we work with a lot of Fortune 500s, we work with a lot of law firms. I think we have some people on here, perhaps from the medical device world. You have to create a world. Am I walking in and needing to talk the talk of IP lawyers? Am I walking in and do I need to talk the talk of pacemaker manufacturers? So the thing that we really like to do is to learn as much as humanly possible about creating that world. Just to give you a taste of that, when someone hires Virtual Broadway, we actually bring on an entire team, right? So it's not just me. We have a director, we have a music person, we have an editor, and then we bring on the talent. And the talent never goes into a meeting without knowing exactly who their audience is to create the world. And Caytie, I'm sure you see this all the time, where events are just better when the meeting planners know exactly what are we celebrating right now? How much do we want to use the lingo and the acronyms, and how much do we not want to? And the third thing I'll bring up is choreographing. So we did customizing, create the world, choreographing. I'm always shocked how so many times we'll put on an event and I won't be asked for a tech rehearsal. I won't be asked to choreograph a run of show. So coming from the world of theater, that's second nature to us. Even before Caytie and I did this event today, LaClare reached out and said, Margaret, do you have 20 minutes to do a quick tech rehearsal? Yes, yes, yes. You always want to do that. And the great thing with things like that is the tech doesn't need to be perfect. I mean, we're all humans. People make mistakes. If you're new on Zoom, it'll happen. But at least having a choreographed run of show and plan sets everyone up for success. And just to finish off with that, if you're doing a mixology course, and let's say you want to bring up that LaClare logo. So we just brought that LaClare logo up. There's a lot we can do with the tech, right? Maybe we're making margaritas. How fun is that? Maybe we want something like remember to stir or something on camera to appear. There's so much you can do with the tech, but the choreographing with the various components, whether it's your team members in-house, whether it's with that outside vendor, we want to come in prepared and on our game. So those are my three quick tips that I've been seeing. Customize as much as you can, create the world, and choreograph the event.
Great. Any questions coming up for anybody? I don't see anything yet in the chat. Feel free, don't be shy. If you don't want to talk out loud, write it in the chat. So Margaret, I have a question for you. When you guys first started out compared to now, how have you seen what you're doing evolve? I mean, have you seen people kind of start out, well, I don't want to lead you in a question, but what can you tell us?
The tech, it's the tech. So in April of last year, when I talked to meeting planners about ring lights, preamps, lav microphones, a lot had no idea what I was talking about. And again, coming from the Broadway community, lighting design and sound design is my world. And of course, right? I mean, we've never ever had to bring a healthcare summit to a virtual setting. So it makes all the sense in the world that you might be an expert on catering, but not an expert on back-end tech to get an outside guest onto your meeting platform. So what I see now is a lot of people, and I think a lot of I think a lot of C-suite personnel specifically have purchased that $2,000 camera, gotten that ring light, figured out their background. You know, I have a plant right there. That plant's never there unless if I'm on a Zoom call, you know, little things like that.
Okay, great. So you mentioned, you know, some of the tech, like the dedicated camera, the ring lights and such. It doesn't have to be a $2,000 camera, right?
Exactly. And again, we'll all still make mistakes, and it's like live theater, which is why I love this world. You know, similar to live theater, I just had a tech glitch at the beginning of this meeting. My internet completely went down. But you roll with it, right? You know, it's trying to rehearse, you know, where is your camera? Where is your line? Where is you know, where's your run of show? You know, is it up here, or are you constantly, you know, checking it? So
okay. We've got a question about hybrid events. So for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, that hybrid means an event that has some live in-person component as well as a virtual component. So for example, here in the Twin Cities, there's an organization called Team Women that did a hybrid event last summer. They normally do an annual conference. They pivoted. I know we've heard that word so much, but they did. So they kept COVID protocols by having a small audience in a large studio. Everyone, of course, masked up and socially distanced. So there were some people there who were able to observe the entire conference live and in person. For the rest of us, we were able to watch it online like we're doing now. So it's a way to combine the two elements. And as I mentioned at the beginning, with knowing that having virtual and online meetings allows you to reach more people, a greater audience than you would have if everybody had to drive, fly, whatever to get to your event. It allows you the best of both worlds. It allows you to have an in-person meeting for those who want to be there, because of course, humans are social beings and we do want to have that live human interaction, you know, that chance meeting when you're standing in line waiting for coffee and you strike up a conversation with the person next to you. And for those people for whom travel makes it prohibitive, maybe they've got other conflicts, they're still able to tune in to certain sessions and get some benefit at the same time. So that's what hybrid events are. Any other questions?
I'd love, if anyone wants to answer, what's the most creative event that has worked for you this last year? You know, did anyone bring in a magician or a juggler? What's the most creative event that you've attended or that's worked for you? A lot of YouTube videos.
I do see, there was one comment. Someone had an online dance party at an event.
That's amazing.
I can share something that I've heard a lot, and I've actually been to one, is like an online cocktail party where things are sent to your house, and then it's like for example, this was like a bourbon one, which I'm not even a bourbon fan, but it was just really fun. So I love stuff like that.
Cool. Did you feel part of it then? Like, even though everyone's sitting in their own homes or wherever they are, did you feel like you were engaged? Did you feel like you were part of the group?
For sure. It was just a really easy icebreaker too, like something everybody could talk about and tell their opinion about and connect.
Yeah. Great. Someone else said our team holiday party was a virtual painting with a twist. That sounds like fun. Let's see what else. One other question. What ideas do you have for encouraging your audience to join live on camera? There can be breakout Zoom rooms, but even smaller groups, people are so camera shy. Margaret, I'll let you, if you've got any.
I mean, this is my shameless plug, but luckily that has not been an issue for our events. When you bring on the star of Hamilton, or when you bring on Elphaba from Wicked, it's incredible. Every single person has said, we've never seen that much employee engagement or that much client engagement. You know, people are tripping over themselves to ask questions like, what time do you show up to the theater? What was the audition process like? So we sort of have an unlucky advantage with that at Virtual Broadway. But Caytie, I'm curious what you might have done.
Well, you know, I think part of it is maybe setting the tone in advance. If you're really expecting that, of course, I have to back up and say it depends on what kind of event you're doing, right? You know, again, I referenced a retreat that we did earlier this year, and we encouraged and invited people. You know, what we kept saying was, hey, it doesn't matter if your house is messy, if you just rolled out of bed. We just want to see your face if you're comfortable, and if you're not comfortable, okay, we get that. So I mean, I know there's some issues there as well, right? Part of it depends on what kind of an event you're doing. If it's a corporate meeting and it's been stated that that's part of the expectation is that people have their cameras on, then you know that expectation has been set as well. So I hope that answers the question. I think it really, you know, in the end, it boils down to what kind of an event you're doing and what expectations you set up front for it. Oh, here's another one. We brought in via Zoom a popular chef that has his own cooking show. He did a cooking presentation and had a high quality setup with camera and audio. His performance was very entertaining. You could almost hear the virtual audience laughing. That's awesome. I love that. Love that. Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. I'm going to go back to I'm going to share my screen here so you can all see this. Another plug for Margaret and Virtual Broadway. Their contact information is at the bottom here. All their social sites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. So I would encourage any of you to check them out, talk to them a little bit more, see how you can add that into your next virtual event to make it a little bit more exciting. And I'm gonna, let's see, I'll leave that up for just a second. We're gonna, since we kind of handled the Q&A and it doesn't seem to be anymore, I just wanna once again thank Ground Logistics International for being a supporter of today's event. From executive sedans and charter coaches, meeting and travel planners, work with them, love them. I'm a customer, I can attest to that. They do a great job and they can do anything all around the United States. So Ground Logistics is their website's at the bottom there. Reach out to them. And of course, a special shout out to our team at the LaClare Group. Yeah, thanks everyone for all of our team. They're a dedicated professional team and they work the magic for every event that we do, including this one today. And finally, just to wrap up, as we are 1 minute from closing this out, I promised we'd have this done in 30 minutes. A special offer for you. We would love to continue this conversation with you in whatever way might be beneficial to you. No obligation, no expectations, but we're offering a free 30-minute consultation with the LaClare Group on anything related to meetings, events, virtual, hybrid, in person, whatever you want to chat about. You can schedule a consult by either emailing or giving us a call. We've got the contact information at the bottom of the slide here. And visit our website to sign up to receive our monthly newsletters, which are packed with good information like the information we presented today. And I just want to thank you again, everyone, for taking 30 minutes out of your day to be here. Thanks again so much, Margaret, for being here. This was very fun. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.